Yo, it's your boy Bess, and welcome back to the Straight to the Point podcast, season 2, episode 16. On today's episode, I will be giving y'all my best 5 plays from week 14, followed by my week 14 dogs. And then I will be answering the question: is it time to panic in Pittsburgh? All right, no bias. I'm gonna answer the question. All right, and then next I'm gonna do my next segment. Are the Cowboys legit after beating the Eagles the way they did this past Sunday night? Are they really legit? Will Best admit that the Cowboys are legit? And speaking of Philly, all right, do I still have faith in my Super Bowl pick? Do I still have faith in the Philadelphia Eagles? And then I'm gonna have another segment called "The Castle is Crumbling." All right, Castle crumbling. The Chiefs' kingdom is falling apart as we speak. And then I'm gonna end this episode with my Thursday night football preview between the Chargers and the Raiders. All right. But as always, I want to thank God for waking me up this morning and allowing me to talk about sports, which is something that I love to do. Without Him, I would not be here right now. So let's go ahead and let's get straight to the point. Look, we're heading into week 15. All right. I feel like just yesterday, y'all know I play fantasy football. I feel like just yesterday I was doing a fantasy football draft. All right. I feel like just yesterday it was week 1 and we all had so much energy built up because we waited a long off season to see our favorite teams take the field. All right. But now we're at week 15, right? Getting closer and closer to week 18, which means we are closer and closer to the playoffs. All right. A lot of teams need to put up wins right now if they want to get into the big dance come January, right? I know my team, I know I want my team to be in there. I know you want your team to be in there, but will they get the job done is the big question, and we will find out over the next 4 weeks. Y'all, I can't believe that we are already at week 15. All right. So let's go ahead and let's get this thing started on with my best 5 plays from week 14. All right. There is no honorable mention this week. We have 2 plays at number 5 though. So for number 5, we do have 2 plays, and my 2 plays are number 1 by Miles Sanders. All right, Miles Sanders on this play, he hits the hole, then bounces it to the outside, and then he also makes a guy miss on the way. And then guess what? I'm gonna go outside, and I'm gonna go back inside, and then he could not get into the end. If he did get into the end zone, this might have been higher on the best 5 plays of the week. And then also at number 5, we got Christian McCaffrey. All right, a huge run. This might have been arguably number 2 or number 1 if he could have got into the end zone. You see, it was supposed to be a toss. He cuts it upfield, cuts it back across field, gets all the way down to about the 20, cuts back on somebody, makes Jamal Adams miss, and almost got into the end zone. That would have been a higher play if he did get into the end zone. All right, so number 4, I got to go with Drake London's great catch. Look, Drake London has been making plays like this all year. Desmond Ritter needs a receiver to make these kind of plays because he's not an accurate passer. He's not a Mahomes. He's not a Joe Burrow. He's not a Josh Allen. He can't put the ball on the money, so he needs someone that can just catch the ball if it's in their area. Well, Drake London has been doing this throughout the whole entire year. He has been proving that he's a legit receiver in this league. Great grab by Drake London. All right, next we have the punt return for a touchdown, the overtime thriller between the Ravens and the Rams. Sorry, y'all. Tylan Wallace. Tylan Wallace took this to the crib. He hits the outside. Look, makes one man miss, and the rest was just balance. I mean, look, he keeps his feet. He keeps his feet again, stayed in bounds, and got into the end zone. This is the second punt return to close out a game in overtime this year. Right, only the second time this happened. Great job by Tylan Wallace. Look, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't know who he was before he made this play, right? I'm pretty sure you didn't know who he was before he made this play, but he made the play. All right. I believe he was also a backup for their starting. I think Rashad Bateman is their starting punt returner. He came in for him and made this play. That was a great play made by Tylan Wallace. All right. Number two. I got to go with Puka Nakua's great dive and great grab. Watching this game, the weather conditions was not perfect at all. The weather conditions were so bad that Puka had to take his gloves off. Normally, when receivers take the gloves off, it's to help them better catch the ball, right? Because the gloves kind of get slick whenever it's raining. The gloves get slick, right? And it's harder to catch it with gloves. So receivers say, "Hey, I'm gonna take my gloves off." Took the gloves off, dove for the ball, put his body on the line. He's having a great year because he's making plays like this throughout the whole entire year. Great job, Puka. And at number 1, I got to go with Russell, last name Wilson. All right, look, he's been making plays like this with Cortland Sutton all year. Or I believe they was up here for within the past 5-6 weeks. I want to say I've had them my best 5 plays at least 3 out of the past 6 or 3 out of the past 5, and it's always been Russell to Cortland Sutton. All right, these two have made a great duo, an elite duo this year when it comes to getting the ball into the end zone. All right, they've been in the end zone so many times. They're doing a great job. They're also, this is one of the reasons why they're also making this playoff push, because Russell Wilson and Cortland Sutton has created a great chemistry between the two. I can't wait to see more every week. I'm looking forward to those two putting up points for their teams. All right, so that was the number 1 play of the week. Those are my best 5 plays of the week. All right, so let's go ahead to my week 14 dogs. All right, these are my dogs, DAWGS. All right, the best performers from this past week. Number 1 for my week 14 dogs, I gotta go with Lamar Jackson. All right, y'all know how I feel about Lamar Jackson. Not the biggest fan. Okay, I voiced my opinion of why. If you don't know why, you should go back to my older episodes and find out why. All right, but Lamar Jackson with 24 for 43, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did throw an interception, but he had 11 carries for 70 yards. Right, a lot of people have tried to throw Lamar Jackson into the MVP conversation, and I disagree wholeheartedly because he doesn't have the numbers right. But if he had more games like this, then he would be in the MVP conversation, because this was a MVP caliber performance. All right, over 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and also had 70 plus rushing yards on the ground. All right, he really showed his dual threat ability in this game. A big reason why they was able to get this big win in overtime against the Red Hot Rams. All right, so great job by Lamar Jackson. Another week 14 dog, Deebo Samuel. All right, 2 weeks straight, Deebo Samuel has been in my dogs list. 7 catches, 149 yards, 1 touchdown, and he also had a carry for a touchdown, so 2 touchdowns in total. He's had 6 total touchdowns in the past 3 weeks. All right, Deebo Samuel is a special player. All right, he's not. I don't look at him as a receiver. I don't look at him as a running back. He's just a dog. Period. Right? He does whatever Kyle Shanahan needs him to do. He will get the job done in an elite fashion. All right. He is probably the best dual threat offensive player in the league. Hands, there's nobody else I fear more when they're coming out the backfield or coming out the slot or coming from outside. Wherever he is on the field, he's going to make a play. That's how special Deebo Samuel is. All right, so great job by Deebo. Another week 14 dog, Drake London. Just got finished talking about him in the best 5 plays of the week. 10 catches, 172 yards, and he also caught a 2-point conversion. When a receiver has 10 or more catches, that means they just hot that day. That means that you cannot stop them. They're going to catch the ball regardless. That's what kind of day it was. And judging off that play he made in the best 5 plays, Desmond Ridder has that receiver that he can just throw the ball up to. Every quarterback that struggles need a receiver that can just go up and make plays. And Drake London has done it a couple of times this year, because I know a couple of times he's been in the best 5 plays from making great grabs. He was hot. He was hot on Sunday. 10 catches, 172 yards. Great job by Drake London. All right, and then last but not least, Evan Ingram, tight end for the Jaguars, 11 catches, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like I said, if you ever have 10 or more catches, that means that you just hot that day. That means you and the quarterback are on a different level chemistry-wise, and the defense just can't stop you. All right, 11 catches, 95 yards, and 2 touchdowns against a great Cleveland Browns defense. Right, I'll take that any day of the week. Great job by Evan Ingram. And those are my week 14 dogs. All right. Next, I'm going to go with question of the day. Is it time to panic in Pittsburgh? All right. So, as you can see, look around, right? I'm clearly a big diehard Steelers fan. Okay. So, whenever I decided to put this question in the show, for one, I didn't want anybody to think that I'm ducking smoke. All right, because if y'all noticed, I did an episode with Thursday Night Football preview between us and the Patriots. Right, we lost that game, and I didn't do an episode the next day like I was supposed to. Some things came up. I promise y'all, I was not hiding, nothing like that. Some things came up, couldn't do it. All right. So I decided to start off this episode with this question, because I didn't want nobody to think that RJ Bess don't want to talk about the Steelers when they're still struggling, etc. Right? Is it time to panic in Pittsburgh? My hand is on the panic button, but I'm not pressing it yet. And let me tell you why. Okay. Our next 4 games: Colts, Seahawks, Bengals, Ravens, or is it Colts, Bengals, Seahawks, Ravens? Regardless of the order, it is the Colts, Seahawks, the Bengals, and the Ravens. Okay. I am fully confident that we can go at worst 3-4 over this next 4 game stretch, which leads us to 10-7, which I believe can get us into the playoffs. Okay, if you look at the playoff picture, it's a lot of teams that are 7-6 right now, and we are a part of those teams that are 7-6. And I told y'all I think the wild card will come down to the Bills, the Steelers, the Texans, and the Broncos. That's what I think. Right now, the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals are in the playoffs as we speak, but I don't think they can sustain with Joe Flacco and Jake Browning at quarterback. I just don't see it. And then y'all looking at me like, well, you got Mr. Trubisky. Well, you're right. We do have Mr. Trubisky, and right now we are screaming for help. Okay. The only problem with Pittsburgh, man, is that they don't have a quarterback. It is as simple as that. All right. If you look at if you listen to other Steelers fans around the world, they're gonna say, "Oh, we need to fire Mike Tomlin and all this, that, all this." There's nothing wrong with Pittsburgh other than the fact that they don't have a quarterback. Luckily, we have an elite defense. An elite defense, and some of y'all looking at me like, well, then y'all just let Bailey Zappi throw 3 touchdowns in the first half. We did. We had a bad game. Simple as that. I told y'all going into that game, I said the Steelers don't make 5 plays. The Steelers defense don't make 5 plays, whether it's sacks, interceptions, fumble recoveries, anything. We're not going to win the game. It's as simple as that. And we had 2 sacks. We had an interception. That's only 3. And then on top of that, Mr. Trubisky threw an interception that put them right in the red zone. They went and they scored. So really cancel out the interception. We only had 2 sacks. All right. That's not going to get the job done. Do I have faith in Mike Tomlin, TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, Cam Hayward, Alex Highsmith to make plays and to get the job done throughout the rest of the year? I do. 100%. This is not me just being a Steelers fan, man. I'm looking at this team. I'm looking at who we play. We're playing the Indianapolis Colts team. Just got blown out by the Cincinnati Bengals, okay, with Jake Browning at quarterback. We play the Bengals, who have Jake Browning at quarterback. And on top of that, we just beat them a couple of weeks ago. Then we play the Seahawks. The Seahawks are one of them teams where you catch them on a really good day, they can be a problem. If you catch them on a bad day, then guess what? You can win that game 100%. But with our pass rush, right, we can give Geno Smith some problems, hands down, no questions asked. And then against the Ravens, we beat the Ravens almost every time we play them, or at least it'll come down to a field goal by Justin Tucker. So am I panicking? No, I'm not panicking. If we get to the playoffs, where we 9 times out of 10 we might lose first round, 100%. Like I'm not saying that this Steelers team is going to make a Super Bowl run. Not saying that this Steelers team is going to win a playoff game. I'm not guaranteeing that. But is it time to panic when it comes to us just getting into the playoffs? I don't think so. Because when you look at the playoff picture, you see the Browns, you see the Steelers, you see the Broncos, you see the Bengals, you see the Bills, you see the Texans. All of them teams have the same record. All of us are 7-6. If I had to put faith in 3 teams to make it, like I said, it's gonna fall between the Bills, Steelers, Broncos, and Bills, Steelers, Broncos, Texans. Those are the 4 teams that I trust the most. All right, so I'm not gonna hit the panic button because I do still believe that we can make the playoffs. All right, we are a defensive-led team. The offense is not gonna make crazy plays. We just got to put our offense in good position to go score. So my hand is on the panic button. It's sitting there. It's on it, but I'm not pressing it yet. All right. So that's my take on the Steelers right now. I would elaborate more, but I want to go ahead and move on to this next one because I've been really looking forward to answering this question. All right. Are the Cowboys legit? The Dallas Cowboys just beat my Super Bowl pick, the Philadelphia Eagles, 34-13. Okay. They did not allow Jalen Hurts to get into the end zone. They didn't allow any Eagles offensive player to get into the end zone because the only touchdown they scored was a fumble recovery. Dak fumbled, Jalen Carter picked it up and scored. They only allowed the Eagles to get 3 field goals basically from the offense. 2 field goals from the offense basically. Is the Cowboys legit? I had somebody text me on Instagram, DM me on Instagram by the name of Donald Hill. Okay, Donald Hill, he is one of the voices on the 3-Man Weave podcast. Okay, I plan on doing some work with them in the future. Donald's a good friend of mine. I know him through family, right? And he texted me and he said, put some respect on Dak Prescott's name. And I will. Dak is playing at an MVP level. I never thought I would say that, but right now he's playing at an MVP level. And what we asked the Cowboys to do was go and beat a legit team, right? Y'all been beating these bad teams, right? The Patriots, the Jets, the Giants, the Commanders, right? I've been beating all these bad teams, and what we've been saying is, what I've been saying is, y'all have not beat a legit team yet. And y'all play the Seahawks. Seahawks, like I said, it's very it's it's a thin line for them between being good and bad. Right, on any given day, they can be good, they can be bad any given day. Y'all battle with them, right? Y'all beat the Seahawks. And then the very next week, y'all did just beat the Eagles. Y'all smacked the Eagles, okay? So are y'all legit? No. No, you're not legit. You're not legit. Let me tell you why, okay? The Cowboys, I've seen y'all have two back-to-back 12-win seasons, and both seasons end in the second round of the playoffs. I want to say against the 49ers, it ended the first time, it ended in the first round of the playoffs. I believe so because that weekend is the weekend that the Steelers played the Chiefs. So I remember that weekend, and it was a wild card round. Y'all lost to the 49ers in Jerry's World. Then the very next year, y'all lost to the sorry. Yes, the very next year, y'all lost to the 49ers in San Francisco. Okay. So let's not act like Dallas winning a lot of regular season games is a surprise or a shock. It's not. Okay. Like I said, I've seen y'all have two 12-win seasons. Okay. I've also seen Dak Prescott put up good numbers in the regular season. Yes, last year he had that interception problem, right? But I've seen Dak Prescott put up good numbers in the regular season. My whole thing with Dallas is that, and this is from the bottom of my heart, honestly, I need every Dallas fan to listen to me, okay? We're going through the same cycle. Okay, every year y'all look legit in the regular season. Then we get to the playoffs, and then poof, it's gone. Right? Why can't y'all see that? We're falling into the same trap every single year. And when I hear analysts say the Cowboys look like Super Bowl contenders, the Cowboys like they're going to win a Super Bowl this year, it looks different. It feels that I hear that every single year. If we get to the playoffs, y'all probably gonna win the first round, right? Because y'all probably gonna end up playing. I still think the Eagles will win the division because I think they're gonna win out. So I think the Cowboys will end up playing Atlanta, the Saints, or maybe even the Bucks. Y'all might win that game, right? 9 times out of 10, y'all will. But that very next round, y'all gonna end up going against probably the 49ers or the Eagles. And I don't have faith in Dak Prescott in the playoffs. I keep telling y'all that when we came out in the beginning of this year, I didn't say the Cowboys were gonna miss the playoffs. I didn't say the Cowboys were gonna have a losing season. No, I knew they was gonna make the playoffs. I knew they was gonna have a good regular season because that's what they are. They are a regular season team. They are a regular season franchise. That's what they do. They put up numbers in the regular season. They ball out in the regular season. They get wins in the regular season. But when it gets to the playoffs, when it gets to the games that really matter, they fall short every time. I don't see why we keep doing this to ourselves every year. And Dallas fans, I really do feel bad for y'all because y'all get y'all hopes all the way up here and it comes crumbling down come playoff time. So are the Cowboys, they're a legit regular season team, but are the Cowboys a legit Super Bowl team? Are they a legit NFC playoff? No, I'm sorry, NFC championship contender. Are they a legit? No, no. So Donald, I gave you look. I gave that Prescott his credit. He's playing good. Might win MVP this year. Right? He's playing really well right now. But are y'all legit? Is Dak Prescott an MVP come playoffs? That's the real question here. We ain't going for this. We ain't going for the regular season champs and just the MVP. Cowboy fans, y'all want the Super Bowl. That's what y'all want. That's not gonna happen, Kevin. I'm telling you that right now. I'm 10 toes down on that because this is the same thing that happens every single year. So yes, the Cowboys are legit for now, but when it gets to January, whoo, it's gonna start getting palms will start sweating for Dak Prescott because it happens every single year. And until you prove me otherwise, I will have the same thought and the same belief about the Dallas Cowboys. All right. But speaking of the Cowboys and who they beat my Super Bowl pick, the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. So do I still have faith in Philly? Is the question. I do. 100% have faith in Philadelphia. When I'm looking at Philadelphia, this is why I have faith. When teams normally have two problems, one of two problems. If they don't have the players to get the job done, or they don't have the coaches to get the job done. And when I say the coaches, I mean the scheme. They don't have the plays. They don't have the offensive play calling, defensive play calling, whatever you want to call it. This Eagles team has the players. They have Jalen Hurts at quarterback, who I believe is the best quarterback in the league. And even over the past two games, they're not going to overreact. They still have A.J. Brown, who's a top 5 receiver in the league. They still have Devontae Smith, who is one of the best number 2 receivers in the league. They still have Dallas Goedert, okay, one probably top 6, top 7 tight end in the league. They still have a great offensive line. Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata. They have a good old line. Defensively, they have been one of the worst defenses statistically. Okay. But when I look at that defense, I see Dawgs, I see Jordan Davis, I see Jalen Carter, right? I see Brandon Graham, I see Fletcher Cox, I see Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat. That's all on the D line. I haven't even got to the second level. It is added Shaq Leonard, right? They have Darius Slay, they have James Bradbury, they have Kevin Byard. This team is full of dogs on both sides of the ball. So it comes down to, is it a coaching problem? And I do believe that them losing Shane Steichen, who is not a head coach in Indianapolis, and losing their defensive coordinator, can I think of his name, who is a head coach in Arizona. I do think that losing both of them has taken a toll on this team for the worst. And when I say that, I mean offensively. Shane Steichen last year, we remember that offense. Their offense was RPO, zone reads. There was a lot of Jalen Hurts putting the ball in the running back's belly, riding it out. Let's see if the defensive end gonna commit to the run. He gonna pull it. He might run it. He might throw it. It was a lot of misdirection. It was a lot of confusion placed on the defense. It was a lot of motioning. It was a great schematic offense. That's why Shane Steichen has the Indianapolis Colts playing the way they're playing right now, because he is good when it comes to drawing up schemes. And he's doing it with Gardner Minshew. Remember that. So looking at the offense this year, it looks like the Eagles said, you know what, we paid Jalen Hurts so much money. We're going to go ahead and just say, you know what, Jalen Hurts, just make a 3-step drop and find somebody. Find somebody. You got A.J. Brown, you got Devontae Smith, you got Dallas Goedert, you got DeAndre Swift. Find somebody. You got a good old line. Just drop back and find somebody. They're not scheming guys open like they did last year. Feels like this year they're just saying, hey, we're better than y'all. We got better players. We got elite players. We're going to just beat y'all with basic football. One stat about the Eagles that I've seen is the Eagles are dead last in pre-snap motion, which means that they are not doing anything special. They're just saying, we're going to line up in this formation. Yes, we're in doubles. Yes, we're in trips. Yes, we're in this, we're in that. And we're going to just run routes and we're going to beat y'all that way. That's not how this works. All right. I need the Eagles OC. I want to say his name is Bryce Johnson. I want to say that's his name. I need you to get more creative, all right? And that's something that you can fix over the next couple of weeks. I don't think if you didn't have Jalen Hurts or you didn't have A.J. Brown, then it would be a concern. Like, for example, if Jalen Hurts said today, I'm done playing, I tore my, God forbid, I got hurt, and I'm out for the season, and I would say the season is over with, right? Because you don't have the dog, you don't have the players, but they have the players. All they got to do is make the scheme better. They can do that over the next couple of weeks, slowly but maturely, right? You're going to get some couple of bad teams over this next stretch. So I think you can use these teams to get better schematically because you have the team, you have the dogs. That's why I'm not worried about this team. Yes, they got beat 2 times in a row, twice in a row to the 49ers and the Cowboys. But you know who else lost games back to back to back this year? And now people are saying they're the best team in the league. The 49ers. The 49ers lost 3 games back to back to back. And yes, it was due to injury, but even with their injuries, you would think you can beat the Vikings. You can beat the Browns, right? They lost all 3 of those games back to back to back. And everybody but me panicked. Everybody said, oh my God, the 49ers losing games. The 49ers just lost 3 straight. The 49ers are done. And I sat up here and I kept saying, no, they're not. They're just fine. It's just a little bump in the road, a few bumps in the road. They're going to be okay. Now look at them. Now everybody's saying they're the best team in the league when I've been saying they are still one of the best teams in the league, even when they lost those 3 games straight. So hear me out. The Eagles are still one of the best teams in the league, even though they got beat these past 2 weeks. A lot of people are saying that they've gone through a rough stretch of games. They're tired. They're fatigued. I'm not even going to go that route because they could be a case. I'm not going to go that route. I think that they just need to get better schematically, which can be fixed over these next couple of weeks against bad teams. Because what you can do is, hey, we're going to try this out. We're going to try this offense out. Not this offense. We're going to try this scheme out. And if all fails, we can just say we're better than y'all because they can do it against who they play, the Seahawks and the Cardinals and I believe they play the Giants. You know what I'm saying? They play some couple of bad teams where you can just say, okay, we're gonna try these things out. If it's not working, we got AJ Brown. You don't. You can do that against those teams, but against the Dallas Cowboys and the 49ers, you can't do that. You got to scheme people open. So it's really simple. All you gotta do is take pages out of last year's playbook, and run them plays. I don't see why you can't do it. You have the same, literally the same. It's a difference if you had different players. You have the same players. All right. You just take a dip out of last year's playbook. It's not that hard. Run a couple of them plays, get more creative. This team will be just fine. Everybody needs to relax. Okay. They had 2 bad losses. I get it. But I don't overreact on this show. Y'all know me. And I didn't overreact with the 49ers. Look where they are now. Not going to overreact with the Eagles. They will be on top by the end of the season. I promise you that they're going to win out. They're going to be the number 1 seed. They're going to get a week off to get healthy in case Jalen Hurts is not fully healthy, because I've heard that a lot over this past week. In case a couple of players are nicked up, they got to upgrade the offensive scheme, add some play, whatever you got to do with that week off, because you're going to get it. Okay, they're going to win out. They're going to be the number 1 seed. Everybody, please relax. Yes, I still have faith in the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, but who I don't have faith in at all, and I call it this, the Chiefs. Okay, the reason why this segment is called Castle Crumbling, in case y'all don't know, have you ever heard, some of y'all, most of y'all should have heard the phrase Chiefs Kingdom. Okay, Chiefs Kingdom. And when you think of a kingdom, you think of a castle, right? So I named it Castle Crumbling. All right, I'm a little creative. All right, give me some credit. Y'all should be snaps. Let's do the snaps. Like, you know, I do in poetry whenever they say something real deep, how they get the snaps. Y'all, everybody, stop what you're doing right now and give me a couple of snaps. So I thought it was very, very, very creative and actually had some help on this. All right. So the castle is crumbling in KC, and I called this a couple of weeks ago. I did my NFL tiers, and I said the IDK tiers. This Chiefs. Something about them I just don't like. I pulled the clip last week on the last episode, and I said, I called it, y'all. I said I don't know about this team, and they lose to the Packers, and they lose to the Bills, and the Chiefs ain't the same, y'all. And I know some of y'all Patrick Mahomes fans, y'all just love Patrick Mahomes so much, you're in denial. But this team's not the same. And this team, unfortunately, is not going to be where y'all think they're going to end up. For one, let's just talk about this past week, because Mahomes really, really ticked me off when he went crazy about that flag. So y'all know that Bills, it was down, I believe, 20-17, and it was going into it was the fourth quarter with a minute and 25 left, right? And there was a Kadarius Toney offsides play. Everybody's seen it. Everybody know about it. Look, there's nothing you can say, nothing you can debate, nothing you can argue. There is no, oh, it was a judgment call. There is no, oh, let them play through it. There is no, it was a pre-snap penalty. The flag was thrown as the ball was snapped because Kadarius Toney was all the way across the ball. There's no debate in this. I'm tired of people hearing people say, oh, you can't call that with that much time left. You can't call that. It's a pre-snap penalty. And then Mahomes go stupid and go crazy talking about how you gonna call an offsides penalty? You gonna rob us of the game? We played so good, and you gonna do this? That's basically, I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he's saying. He's saying that we made a great play and you took it away from us with that crazy call. I haven't seen that call because most of the time receivers aren't lined up. Their whole body aren't across the ball because teams have more discipline than that. Teams know where to line up. And on top of that, Mahomes, you complaining, but last time I checked, you won a Super Bowl last year, and there was a PI call at the end of the game that guaranteed y'all to win. Oh, how soon we forget, huh? How soon we forget? Last year it was a. I remember watching the highlight because I watched it so many times. I remember seeing Mahomes do this. He was pointing. He was pointing at the flag when he saw the flag thrown, and he was happy. He was excited. Oh, it's exciting when they throw the flag for you to win a game. Or when they throw the flag against you to lose a game, now you got a problem with it. And on top of that, it was a PI call last year, something that you can really argue. Hey, y'all gotta let that go because it's the Super Bowl. I gotta let that go. Can't let a flag determine the game. This was an offsides penalty, and every camera angle shows Kadarius Toney offsides. All right, so I don't like how Mahomes can say it's cool whenever it's benefiting you. In the biggest game of the year, it helped you win the game. Oh, but when it's against you, when it's an offsides penalty, you got a problem with it. You know what, y'all? I don't think Mahomes is that stupid. I think Mahomes just knows that this is not his year. That's all that frustration, all of that. It was literally, we was literally watching the Chiefs fall apart because the quarterback and Mahomes is finally realizing I can't win with this team. I can't do it. So he's frustrated. He let it all out after that penalty was thrown. And you know what's crazy? It took a special play for them to beat the Bills. That would have been an all-time great game-winning play if it went through, right? What Travis Kelce did, throwing the ball back to Kadarius Toney. It took that. It took a Herculean effort to win that game. That's not a good look. Y'all used to win games with ease. Y'all used to win games. We was like, man, that offense looks great. This offense didn't put up points until it was a minute and 20 left in the first half. Mahomes, you should be mad at yourself. You should be mad at your team, not the referee. You ain't put up nothing until the minute and 20 left in the first half. Then you got the nerve to get mad at the ref. Your team is not putting up points because the Chiefs are not good, y'all. Let's just be real. Okay, most years the Chiefs have a little slump, and I'm like, the Chiefs messing up. No, this year they are not that team. Period, point blank. And I understand everybody keeps saying, but they have Mahomes. I'm not betting against Mahomes. They have Mahomes, and then what? Travis Kelce has not been the same this year as he's been over the past couple of years. Then what receiver other than Rashid Rice is playing good, but he's not no game changer. Other than them two, who are you worried about? And not a soul. This lets you know that it don't matter how good you are of a QB, you need weapons. Period. And the Chiefs front office let Mahomes down this year by not going to get DeAndre Hopkins when they had a chance. If they would have got DeAndre Hopkins, I probably would have gave up this year and said, you know what, the Chiefs got it. Because they have a good defense, right? But they're missing is the passing game just not there. When I see the Chiefs, I'm trying to tell you, the Chiefs might just lose first round this year. I'm really, really, really wanting to bet on that. They might lose in the very first round this year because they're not scary. They're not. All right, and I tried to call it first. I told y'all I don't know. I don't know tier. I don't know about this team. Then they lose 2 straight games. Bess was trying to tell you. I tried to warn y'all. I don't know about this team because this team is not scary. This team is not legit. The castle is crumbling. The Chiefs' kingdom is falling apart as we speak. All right. But to end this show today, we're gonna do my Thursday night football preview between the Chargers and the Raiders. It's not gonna take long because this game is going to be very, very boring. Okay, so look, I'm going with the Raiders because I don't trust the Chargers for one. Don't trust Brandon Staley. He is a coach that has to be gone. I remember Mike Tomlin for the Steelers, right? People like to say Mike Tomlin should be fired. Mike Tomlin is a defensive minded coach, and his defense is the best side of the ball every single year. That's the least you can do as a head coach is that your side, at least your side of the ball is good, right? At least your side of the ball is the elite side of the ball. If you're offensive mind or defensive mind, Brandon Staley is a defensive minded coach. His defense has been god awful the past every single year he's been coaching the Chargers. The defense has been terrible. It's always been Justin Herbert and the offense putting up points. Brandon Staley is a bad coach. He needs to go. Don't trust the Chargers. Don't trust Brandon Staley. Justin Herbert's not playing. It's clearly the Raiders. It's an easy pick. If you want to make money, put money on the Raiders to win on Thursday Night Football in Vegas because the Chargers are not a good team. Okay, going into this year, I thought the Chargers would be good. I thought getting Kellen Moore would be great for this offense. Justin Herbert would get kickstarted. No, Mike Williams got hurt and they act like they didn't know how to score after he got hurt. All right, Quentin Johnson was a bust of a first-round pick. Keenan Allen is the only thing working on his offense. They don't have a run game. Keenan Allen's the only thing going for him. And Justin Herbert's hurt now. He wasn't really that good when he was healthy. So the Chargers team is done for this year. They're not winning Thursday night. I'm going with the Raiders against the Chargers, all right? That was pretty simple. I figured I didn't need that much time to do that because the Chargers is not a good team. It's not a debate to me, all right? But that is it for today's episode, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed today's episode. I will be doing my next episode on Friday, y'all. Friday, I will be doing my picks for this upcoming week, for week 15, y'all. Week 15. I can't believe it. All right, but we are already there. All right, so much love. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay blessed. Enjoy the holidays. We're getting closer and closer to Christmas. All right, a lot of us college students are on winter break. Spend time with your family. I'm trying to tell you, spend time with your family. All right, because at the end of the day, that's all we got. Right? Let's just be real. All right. So much love. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay blessed. I'm out.